Hey everybody, this video is going to be showing you how to split test cold email angles to find diamonds in the rough and scale winners to the moon before Elon does. Now, here's the deal, okay? You run cold email, you run outbound. You've probably been told before, oh, you need to test. You need to test things out. You need to test different angles, right? What does that actually mean? How do you do that? How do you test? What do you test? There's a lot of fluff going on. Like when people tell you to test, it almost sounds like a LinkedIn post sometimes. And you're like, what the hell does that mean? Oh, you have to test angles and like how? So this video is gonna be showing you how you can actually test angles to see what's working, seeing what's not, and to scale the ones that are working up a lot more. Let's get right into this. My name is Ryan Bryden. I run an agency called Breakout Creatives. We'll guarantee you 20 plus qualified demos in under 90 days, all on a performance basis, which means you're only paying if you're showing up, or sorry, the prospects are showing up on the phone with you, ready to go. Yeah, let's get right into this. Enough of me chit chatting. So, testing is the name of the game, okay? Although it's, you probably heard a million people say it. For any campaign you launch, for every offer you write email copy for, you're never going to know what's going to work. You just won't, right? You can conduct market research, you can use, current customers, talk to the market, but you won't know for sure. You won't know which messages hit certain people, evoke certain emotions, or touch on sensitive pain points of theirs. So how are you supposed to pick the right message to say over your cold outbound if you don't know what works? So the only logical answer is to test them against each other. Well, I think this could work, but I also think that this could work. Well, let's do both of them and see which one works more. Pretty simple, right? This document is designed to show you exactly how to split test email angles against each other, to find winning angles, to cut the ones that are losing, and to ride the back of your champions to have infinite lead flow at all times. Now, continuing on, what does testing actually mean? What does it mean, man? Okay, in the context of creating copy, your script for cold email sequences, testing means running different variations of your offer to your ICP in the form of A/B split test and seeing what sticks and seeing what doesn't. So when you're testing stuff, right, you're testing the things that you're saying to people to try to get them interested in your offer. The things that you can test, call to actions. So you write your script, and then what are you saying at the bottom? Are you asking them to get on a call right away? Are you asking to send them some kind of document? Are you asking for them to give 15 minutes of your time to do an interview? Like what call to action are you using? Those are different things that you can test, seeing what's working and seeing what's not. Lead magnets, this works quite well. Maybe you offer them 50 free leads. Maybe you offer them a welcome flow design build out. Maybe if you sell an automation offer, maybe you give them a free automation that'll save them 5 hours every week. Test out different things to give people, and the things that they respond with more is obviously the thing that they have more of an interest in. You can test out your offer and what your promised end result is going to be. For myself, maybe I say I'll book you 20 demos in 90 days. Maybe I say I'll outperform your SDR team by 25%. If I put those against each other, one of them is going to present itself as the one that people want more. It just is. Like it's like, unless they're the exact same, one of them is going to do better. You can split test how long your copy is, how long your emails are. Maybe you have one that's the classic one liner, and you like legit have one sentence of, hey John, blah 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 blah, boom, and you can read it in 3 seconds. And maybe you test one that has a lot more detail, and you're diving into pain points and going over a case study or a customer journey on how you help so and so blank, right? These are all different things that you can and should test in your emails, right? By doing this, you can extract direct feedback from your target customers and get a direct insight into what they want and what they don't want. Testing is one of the most effective ways to gather market research in real time and is invaluable for companies to have for decision making. The biggest thing about testing over cold traffic is that they have no reason to lie to you. If your offer sucks, they're going to tell you. If your lead magnet they don't give a shit about, they're going to tell you. It is the most raw and authentic way of getting feedback about your market, which makes your life so much easier. It just does so much for you and your brand. There's no cheaper, faster, and more effective way for testing product market fit than to put your offer in front of cold traffic and see how they react to it. It is as simple as that. Now, I know I'm doing a bunch of yapping right now about how important testing is, but let's dive into how you can actually test. Okay, my man DJ Khaled's telling us to stay focused. So A/B testing, right? Let's start at the very beginning. Your first email, okay? Your most important touch point with a lead is going to be your very, very first one, right? That's the first time they're seeing your offer, whether they open it. Um, on like 95% of campaigns, your email sequence that converts the most is going to be off the first email, right? You need to make sure you're getting your message across effectively and quickly for them to take some sort of action in this offering, right? But like I said before, how will you know what message will resonate with what audience? You won't, right? You just can't. Like again, you can gather all the market research and whatever you want, but until you have cold hard data in front of you of like what is working and what is not, you just won't know, right? So let's use an example. Let's use myself because I have a lot of data on the offer that I provide for people, right? So I'll just use the offer I sell right now, which is performance-based cold outbound lead generation. So here are how many split tests that I run for my first email sequence inside of the sending tool I use, which is called Smart Lead. This is a lot. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10. And now you can see only 6 of them are running, meaning that there's 4 of them that I cut. Now, is this a bit too much? Do you need to test 10 different angles? Probably not. Probably not. I would recommend starting with maybe 4 or 5. But let's look at all of the data that it gives me to seeing what's working. These are actual stats of my campaign, right? So we can see across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emails here, like different variations of things that I'm testing, where I'm testing my offer, I'm testing my call to action, I'm testing the length of these emails. We have data on which ones are working and which ones not. So question, okay? You see this data set right here. What is the first thing that you notice from data like this? It should probably be that we have an obvious winner in our campaign, which is email A right here. Like by far, right? The reply rate, not great actually, 2%. It's about middle of the pack here. But this, right? A 43% positive reply rate, that's pretty dang high. That's pretty solid. So this clearly shows that we have an angle that our market is showing 2 to 3x more interest in than other angles that we're using. 17, 22, 21, 15, 6, 23, right? This is at 43%. Like compare that to here, that is at least a 2x, almost a 3x in a few of them, right? So that is your clearest data point. Something that you are doing in email 1A is working really well, and the people that you're putting this message in front of, they want that shit or they like that shit. Maybe it's the offer, maybe it's the specific language that you use. Maybe you called a direct pain point out of the job titles that you're putting this message in front of, but something in this angle right here is doing very well, okay? Now, what is another thing that you notice from this data set right here, okay? We have an angle that is clearly not hitting our market very effectively, which is email H right here at 6%, right? So yes, we've sent more to the rest of these, but at 800 emails, that's still a pretty good testing point. And we only have one positive reply out of almost 800 emails sent. That's not great. That's not great. And just compare it to the rest of the ones that we have. Why would I keep sending emails that are under this variation when I have other ones that are just objectively clearly performing better? It just makes no sense in the slightest. With one reply, positive reply, on 788 emails, we can most likely conclude this angle is something that does not work for our market. It just doesn't. And we can cut it for split testing and redirect more volume into winning campaigns, right? So when you decide that a losing angle should be cut, replace it with elements of your winning angle and see if you can make that even better. That is what is meant by testing. And that's how you can continuously reiterate on your good offers and what is working to make it even better, right? So keep the same number of split tests running against each other, but always be reiterating on these things that I talked about, right? On your lead magnets, the length, the call to action, whatever, to try to make it even better, right? That you used in your winning, yeah, okay, yeah. I know what I was saying there for a second, but you're basically take the contents of email A, test them with different things to try to get that even better, try to beat 43%. And that's how you can continuously, right, improve and split test your copy angles and the outbound that you're sending. Because why would I keep sending to H when I'm only getting a 6% positive reply, right? Why wouldn't I send 788 emails to a variation of email A, right? I hope that kind of makes sense. My head's in the way here. By finding what's winning, which means people are showing interest in your stuff, and what is losing, people are telling you that your stuff sucks. We can easily make adjustments based on our messaging to make sure everything we put in front of people's eyes is battle tested material that people want. If you do this for a few weeks or a few months, you are literally in the driver's seat for how far you want to optimize these angles, right? Like you can scale this as much as you want. You can fine tune everything in this as much as you really want, right? Um, Come on, Gamma, what are you doing here? Um, some other things to note. Okay, so I'm talking about testing a lot. Okay, now, although this process is pretty dang simple, there's a few things I want to recommend quickly on how to get the most out of your testing. Number one, and most importantly, make sure you have enough data to make a logical decision. In my opinion, you cannot determine a winner, like I just showed you, or a loser, like I just showed you, with under 750 to 1,000 emails sent per angle, right? Because imagine this scenario plays out. You send 200 emails per angle, and after 3 days, you determine which ones are winning, which ones are losing, only to find out 3 weeks later that all of your positive replies from your winner came at the start, right? They came in these first 3 days, and your angle actually kind of sucks. And the losing angle that you cut after a few days would have outperformed everything if you just give it time to run, right? So based on your sample size, the amount of volume you're sending to, you're going to run into a lot of false positives and false negatives. This is why it is essential to make sure that you use enough of a data set to pull from so that you can back up your decisions with, hey, look, we sent this to 1,000 different people. That's 1,000 different people that work a real job. And this percent of them showed interest. Okay, cool. Right. But you can't do that with, hey, we only send it to 82 people and nobody wants my stuff. Oh my God. You got to send more, bro. So at some point, you just have to let it run. The next thing is only pull big levers. So for as much as you can, focus on pulling big things in your emails rather than making super small tweaks, right? So you should be looking at things like changing your call to action from a call to giving them a sales asset, changing the length of your copy from 4 lines to one sentence, or positioning your offer in an entirely different way to see if it works better. These are things that can drastically make a difference in the person reading your message on the other end if they take action or not. Changing things like punctuation to a period or a question mark, or changing one word from interested to open to, other small tweaks like this, 99% of the time, they're just time wasters. They are not going to make a difference on if somebody wants your thing or not. They're just not. They might yield super small results, but 99% of the time, they won't be the big changes that you're looking for to improve your campaigns. Number three is test lots of stuff, man. There are countless different ways that you can test your offering. You can probably think of a few off the top of your head, but try to think outside the box on different angles that you can take. So think of it this way, right? This is a great way to kind of visualize this. The wider that you can cast the net on things that you try out, the more data that you can reveal and the better decisions that you can make because of this. Use AI tools to help with prompts and different ways that you can present your offer. Now, I know ChatGPT, sometimes it's great, sometimes it stinks, and it's not good for writing copy itself yet, but for idea generation, it's amazing. Use something like this, okay? Here's my offer for my agency, my company, my software that sells this. I'm trying to come up with different and creative ways to present this offer to potential buyers. You can read the rest of this, but use tools to just give you ideas for things that kind of just build your ballpark, right? From there, you can nitpick certain things and split test them and create campaigns yourself by picking from a bunch of different fields and kind of mashing them together, right? I'm going to pick this offer in a short email and this angle, boom, and you mash it together and test it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much all that I kind of have for there. So conclusion, run split tests for your outbound campaigns, please. Test out different ways to present your offer. Test out the length of your emails, the call to actions you use. Anything that you can think of is worth testing. Once you send 1,000 plus emails to each and every one of these angles, you'll probably have one or two that are working well and one or two that are not. Oh, throw the ones that aren't working in the trash and send more volume to the ones that are winning. Dissect your winning ones and the elements about them that you think make them winners. and try to make them even better by substituting bits and pieces of info in and out. Reiterate on this process for as long as possible to optimize results. It is that simple. Simple. Hope this helped. And by the way, if you want an entire cold outbound funnel built for you, where we'll do all the testing for you, we'll build the sales assets kind of like this, specific for your company though, and we'll book you 20 plus qualified calls in under 90 days where you only pay when they show up on Google Meet with you, ready to buy your stuff on a performance basis. You can go right here. And if you want to check out more trainings like this, you can go right here. Okay, bye. I love you.